Hi everyone, welcome to Byaoko. My name is Byaoko. I hope you are having a good year so far. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to crochet this puff sleeved top. It's super easy to make, it's beginner friendly, and I really love connecting with my subscribers. You can leave a comment down below, let me know where you watching this from, and I can't wait to see you guys recreating this. And feel free to tag me on my social media pages and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let's get started. So for the material, I used acrylic yarn. It's a very thin yarn, so I doubled my strand to make it a medium weight yarn, and then I used 5mm crochet hook. Don't mind my hook, it's one of my favorite hook, but my dog ended up chewing it. So you can use any other yarn of your choice. Medium weight yarn is good. I used 8 balls of this. So for this design, we are going to start by making the body part, and we're going to make the front panel and the back panel, and we're going to start by making it from the neckline going down, and the size that I've made is a size medium to large. So for size small to medium, you can start with a neckline of 8 inches. For size large to extra large, you can start size large with a neckline of 9 inches, and then extra large with a neckline of 10 inches. Start by making a slip knot and then make a number of chain stitches. So the number of chain stitches, so the pattern works well with an even number, but I suggest that you chain in excess, and we're gonna end up undoing the extra stitches if you're not sure of how many chain stitches you're going to make. So I have just chained 45, and we're going to start by making our first row. So in the third chain from the hook, you're going to insert your hook and make an incomplete single crochet like that, and then yarn over and insert your hook, pull through. Now you have 4 stitches, yarn over and pull through. So now that's a bean stitch, and then chain 1, and then skip the next stitch, and into the following stitch you're going to start by making an incomplete single crochet like that, and then yarn over, insert your hook in the same stitch and pull. Now you have 4 loops, yarn over and pull through. Let's repeat that again. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, and then do a bean stitch. So you're going to repeat this until the end of the row. So I'm at the end of the row and I have 19 bean stitch. These are 19 of them, and it's around 8.5, almost 9 inches. So we're going to make the next row, so make sure you start with a bean stitch and you end with a complete bean stitch. So these are my excess stitches, and we're going to undo them. So now I have closed the bean stitch like that. Now to start off the next row, after that chain 1, you're going to turn your work, and then inside this space over here, inside this, the single crochet that you made from the bean stitch, you're going to go inside it and make another bean stitch, chain 1, and then inside this space, not here, you can see the single crochet of the bean stitch that we created. That's where you're going to insert your hook and create another bean stitch, and repeat this until the end of the row. And your last stitch is going to be this over here. Don't forget that stitch, and then complete your bean stitch like that, and then chain 1. So make sure you also have 19 bean stitch. So in the third row, we are going to start increasing our work. So after turning, in the first stitch over here, we're going to place a bean stitch, chain 1, and then in the same stitch you're going to add additional 1 bean stitch in the same stitch over here to form an increase. Chain 1, and then you're going to go in the second stitch and make 1 bean stitch, and then also we're going to form an increase at the end of the row. In the last stitch, which is this one over here, you're also going to place 2 bean stitch. So that's the first one, chain 1 and 1 more in the same stitch. Chain 1 and turn. So in the next row after an increase, you're just going to work normal without increase. So in the first single crochet stitch there, you're going to place a bean stitch, chain 1, do not increase here, and then continue making 1 bean stitch until the end of the row. Towards the end of the row, 2 stitches left and 1 last stitch over here. So in the next row, it's going to be a row of increase. So you'll keep on alternating an increase and a normal row. And to increase in the first stitch over here, you're going to place 2 bean stitch. That's 1, chain 1, and then in the same stitch, place 1 more, chain 1, and then continue making 1 bean stitch in those stitches. At the end of the row here, we're going to form an increase by placing 2 bean stitch in the same stitch. So you're going to apply the same technique, continue increasing your work until you have, continue increasing your work until you have the, okay, let's just refer to this. So until you have this point over here, and then we're going to start working in straight line. So the size of your front panel, until you have the measurement of your front panel, you're going to stop there, and then we work in straight line. So now I have the front panel done. I have worked in straight line. So working in straight line, it's easy. You can refer to the upper part, how we made the second row in straight line, and then now you're going to make the 2 panels which are equal in size, and then we're going to sew the 2 sides together. So now to join the 2 sides together, you're going to insert your hook on the other side and make a slip stitch, and then we're going to keep on alternating. Now come on to the other side in the next row, make a slip stitch, turn on to the other side in the next row, make a slip stitch, on to this other side in the next row, make a slip stitch, and you're going to repeat this until you're done binding this side way. So that's how it looks like on the wrong side. On the right side, that's how it looks like. Now repeat this onto the other side. So now we're going to create the straps on the shoulder and start working on the neckline, but we're going to attach our yarn on the middle part, like at the back part of the top. So make sure you have divided your work into 2 and then attach it with a single crochet. So now you're going to chain 1 more, and then in the chain 1 spaces you're going to make 2 double crochet. In the next chain 1 space, make 2 double crochet, and then repeat this until you get onto the other side of your work, like that. And then I'm going to chain 28, could be more, could be less for you, to create the armhole and to act as your straps. Make sure it fits your armhole well, and then turn on to the other side and in the first chain 1 space you're going to make 2 double crochet, and then you're going to repeat making 2 double crochet in each of those chain 1 spaces. When you get to the other side also you're going to chain 28 or whichever the number of stitches you did, and then you are going at the back, you're going to make a slip stitch to close that, and you will have something like this. So now you have your straps, and the back is going to act as your starting point like I said before. So now to start off the next row you're going to chain 2, and then we're going to work front post, back post. In the next double crochet stitch you're going to make a back post, so we are creating the ribbing on the neckline. And then in the next double crochet make a front post, in the next one make a back post. So alternate front post and back post all around, and then when you get to where you made the chain stitches you're just going to make 1 double crochet in each of those chain stitches. To start off the next row, chain 2, and then where you have the front post, the back post, sorry, make a back post. Where you have the front post, make a front post. So keep on alternating this. When you get to the double crochet area of the straps, you are going to start making your front post and back post, and this will enable you to have like front post and back post everywhere, and you should be able to have something like that. So the next step is we're going to apply our sleeves. So we're going to make the sleeves separately and then come and attach them. You can also leave your work like this if you want a vest. So for the sleeves you're going to start by making the wrist area from the down part and then going up, and I started with a height of 6 inches, so it could be longer, could be shorter for you depending on how you want the wrist area to be. And I'm going to start by chaining 26, and then in the second chain from the hook make a single crochet, and then go ahead and make single crochet in each and every stitch until you are done with the chain stitches. In the second row you're going to chain 1 and turn, and in the first stitch you're going to go through both loops inside here and make a single crochet, and then now we're going to start working through the back loop. Sorry. So through the back loop make single crochet in each and every stitch to form the ribbing, and then in the last stitch you're also going to go through both loops. So in the first stitch and in the last stitch you're going to go through both loops. To start off the next row, let's repeat this one more time. Chain 1 and turn, and then in the first stitch through both loops make a single crochet, and then go ahead and make single crochet through the back loops. In the last stitch you're going to go through both loops. So you're going to repeat this over and over again until you get the size of your wrist. So I have the size for my wrist over here, and now we're going to start working on the upper part, and to create the ruffles or to make the sleeves puffy, you're going to make 2 single crochet per row of the single crochet. So chain 1, and then in the first row you're going to place 2 single crochet. In the second row, which is this one, you're going to place 2 single crochet. So this will create that puffiness effect. In the next row, 2 single crochet, repeat this until the end of the row. Like this. So in the next row, you're going to chain 4, 3, 4. The first chain 3 count as a double crochet, and then the extra one as a chain 1 stitch. And then in the next stitch, you're going to place a double crochet, chain 1. In the next stitch, place a double crochet, chain 1. In the next stitch, place a double crochet. Repeat this until the end of the row. End of this row. To start off the next row, you're going to chain 4 and turn, and we're going to repeat this previous row. So on top of the next double crochet, place a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1. Repeat this until the end of the row. So the next row, you're going to chain 5. So instead of the chain 1 space, now we're going to increase it to be chain 2 space. So that's why you're chaining 5. The first 3 acts as a double crochet, and the extra 2 as chain 2 space. And then turn, and then place a double crochet on top of a double crochet. Now chain 2. So now you're expanding your sleeves. Double crochet into the next, chain 2, double crochet into the next. Repeat this until the end of the row. In the last stitch, skip the first 2 double crochet and into the third chain. That's where you're going to place your last double crochet, like that. So to enable you to know the size, the circumference of this armhole, you can just take your measuring tape and don't stretch, just measure it out. You'll be able to know like how wide this part is, so that it can guide you to know if you still need to increase the circumference of the sleeves, or you can now start working in straight line. So mine is around 33, which is okay. I don't need to add anything, so I'll just work in straight line. We're going to chain 5 and then just plainly work in straight line. You'll be able to have something like this. It's quite huge, by the way, and these are 60 stitches for me. Like the opening here, the chain 2, there are around 60 of them. So I'm done making the arm, and this is how it looks like. It's quite puffy, very puffy, and I have around 60 of these chain 2 spaces all around. It's quite big. So now we're going to fix the sleeves on the body part. And I have already fixed one side of the sleeve on the body part, so I'm just going to show you how to fix it on this other side. So now the sleeves are quite big, so the bigger it is the better, because it's going to create that puffiness. And then we're going to attach it on this side. Make sure you've turned the body part to be on the wrong side, so that when you flip it over, it's going to be on the right side. So now we're going to attach it at the middle point over that, like that. So that is the wrong side, so make sure like the stitches, you are binding them on the wrong side. So at the middle point, make your first single crochet, and then you're going to turn onto the mesh side, and you're only going to attach where you have the double crochet stitch over there. Ignore the chain to space. So make your single crochet over there, flip over onto the other side, and in the next row make a single crochet, turn onto this other side where you have the double crochet, make a single crochet. Onto the other side in the next row, do not skip any row of the body part, and you're going to do this until you get up to that corner. So I'm at the corner and I have fixed one side, and still we have quite a lot of that you need to fix. So you need to count so far how many you have fixed, like those chain two spaces. For me it's 16, so 16 of those have I have fixed them on one side. So now I'm going to count 16 stitches, 16 spaces on this other side, and just mark it with a stitch marker. So this will enable you to balance the stitches quite well. So mark it so that side will go onto the other side. So that means whatever we have at the middle point over there, we need to fix all these at the shoulder part. So when we fix that, it's going to create that gathers over there. So now you are going to divide the middle part, that section. So also divide that section into two, and also on the shoulder part you are supposed to divide that into two. So that means the half of this middle section that is left, that part should entirely fit on that area. So basically we are just dividing our work, and then now sorry, we are going to continue attaching our work. Then when you get at the shoulder part, it's still the same technique, but now in each and every stitch you're going to place on that side and then onto this other side. In the next chain stitch of the shoulder, onto this other side of the chain two spaces, in the next stitch. So it's all about playing with your stitches, so just be creative here. The idea is just balancing your work. And then make sure where you marked the middle points with a stitch marker, that is where your last stitch is going to rest, like that. Turn onto the other side and repeat the process. And then when you get onto the other side, basically it's just repeating what you've done so far. So now I'm done fixing the armhole. The next thing we're going to do is to bind the opening of the sleeves, and still we are going to fix this on the wrong side, and then when you are done you're just going to flip your work so that you can have your right side. So make sure you align your work. So where you have your first double crochet stitch over there, you're going to make a slip stitch and then chain two, and then turn on to the other side of the next stitch, make a slip stitch, chain one, turn on to the other side, make a slip stitch, chain one, turn on to this other side, make a slip stitch, chain one, and that is how you're going to bind the opening of the sleeves. When you get to the single crochet part of it, you're just going to make a slip stitch like that, pass your hook on the other side through the other side, and then make a single crochet and repeat this until you're done with it. At the end of the row, you're going to chain 1 and then cut off your yarn and tighten it off. So that's how the wrong side looks like, and that's how the right side looks like. That's how it looks like on the right side, and you're done. So now use the same technique to apply the sleeves onto the other side and then weave in your ends. So the final step is to do the ribbing on the waist, and we're going to use front post, back post, the same technique we used on the neckline. So you're going to attach your yarn on the side, and then you're going to make double crochets, like 2 double crochet per chain 1 stitch, and then do the front post, back post, and that's it. So thank you so much for watching. This is the final outcome. I'm really in love with this. Please feel free to tag me on your recreations on my Instagram page Byaoko, and like this video, leave a comment down below, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Until then, goodbye.